is a video about the mock tests that I've done today for people. So I've done 2 mock tests on 2 separate hours with 2 separate people, and it was their first mock test that they have done each. And yeah, I just want to talk about that. I want to talk about the faults that came up, the habitual faults that came up, which are very common. Okay, so both of them drove too slowly, which is extremely common, and both of them hesitated, right? And it's very common. So students who go into their mock tests or their real tests sometimes erroneously choose to drive slowly to make themselves look safe. They can stop at roundabouts when they don't need to. They can stop at open junctions where you can see everything, which is unnecessary. And unfortunately, it can make you fail your mock test and it can make you fail your real test. So, of course, I have had very detailed conversations with these 2 people today. And I liken the mock test to be, I call it the bad pancake, right? Your first mock test is like the bad pancake. So if you follow this channel, you're going to know what I'm talking about. But for those of you who are new here, I call it the bad pancake because when you're making pancakes, the first pancake that you make is always like a bit of a disaster, right? The heat of the pan is wrong, how much oil you use. The first pancake, you just need to get it out of the way, right? And then after that, all of them are brilliant, right? And I think that mock tests are like that. You just want the first one, you want to get out of the way. But what it does is it's like a massive highlighter. So your driving instructor is also learning, like what's highlighted here. Both of you get to learn about what's going on with the drive, okay? So maybe mirrors are highlighted. Oh, you're not checking your mirrors enough. Or maybe your speed's highlighted or hesitation's highlighted. Or maybe the order of the parallel park is highlighted or whatever. So it's just a big highlighter. It's not something to get upset about, right? It really isn't. So years and years ago, I had people get really upset about mock tests and some of them even cried, right? And not for years because I always say to them, there's nothing to worry about, please. You do not worry about this too much. It's not something that you have to get upset about. It's just a highlighter for you and me to then be united about what needs to be done with the rest of the weeks that we've got left until your test comes up. Okay, so it's just a highlighter. Don't worry about it. Just make sure that you're not doing your mock test really close to your test because you do need some lessons perhaps to make sure that you've got fixing time for anything that comes up. Yeah, so there was serious faults on my students' test today, which is unique to them, which we needed to talk about. But the habitual ones were the same, driving too slow and hesitation. So I want to say that it's so common for these, but when you go to your driving test, right, it's really important that you don't drive like a learner. The examiner's not interested in you driving like a learner. It's really important. You're supposed to have had all these lessons to not be a learner anymore. You're basically saying, I don't need help anymore. So if you're driving really slowly and choosing to drive slowly to make yourself look safe, this is not correct because it makes you look like a learner. Now, you need to be safe, obviously. Okay, so it's not about not being safe, but you need to be able to drive the normal speed limit for the conditions of the road, whatever that is, and then you need to then slow down for your new hazard with skill. If you're using a geared car especially, speed down, gear down to the lower gear for the open junction or the closed junction. So you basically need to drive as if you're late, but you're safe. That is really important. You're late, but you are safe. I did a mock test for somebody once, and the mock test is only 38 minutes, just like the real thing, right? 38 to 40 minutes. And at 30 minutes, my student had still not got out of second. I had to fail her because I haven't seen any skill of the higher gears. I haven't seen any skill of her lowering the speed down and the gear down for the hazards. So you can't kind of get away with driving really slowly because the examiner's going to be like, I can't see any skill here. The point is to show that you can drive normally for the conditions of the road. If that's 30 because you can do 30, great. That's fine if there's parked cars everywhere. Obviously you can't do 30. But as you're driving at the normal speed for the conditions of the road, when a new hazard comes up, you're then right, okay, it's open, I'm going to go speed down, gear down to show that skill. I can do that because I'm a skilled person. I've had all these driving lessons to be able to know how to do that. Or if it's closed, I'm skilled at going speed down, gear down into first because I can do that, and that's the skill. You don't want the person behind you who's driving behind you to think, oh, that's the learner driving. When you go to your driving test, the person behind you should be confused as to whether the instructor's driving or the learner's driving. If they can tell that the learner's driving, you're probably not going to pass. You are supposed to be the finished article. You're supposed to be dropped into society like I'm finished. I'm the blossomed flower. I am done. You know, here I am in my brilliance. Yeah, I'm done. You want to go into this test and be like, isn't it ridiculous that I've still got a driving instructor? Isn't it ridiculous that I still need to sit with somebody who's got 3 years experience, you know, holds the same driving license as me? Isn't that ridiculous that I have to have that with L plates on my car? You know, release me from that, please. And he'll be like, I totally agree with you. You shouldn't have anyone sat with you. You don't need a driving instructor. Let me just write this pass form for you. Do you know? That's the statement. You don't want to be going in there and looking like freaking out or hesitating or whatever, because you just look like a learner, yeah? When you come up to a junction, he wants to see all your judgment. Does this person know how to go at a roundabout at the right time? If they find the blocker, if they find the gap at the roundabout, are they then quick enough to be able to take the blocker without making anyone slow down? You know, this is judgment stuff. This is how to control the car. Are they using enough gas to go if it's safe to do so? That kind of stuff, yeah? So hesitation, driving too slow. When I was on the mock test with my second student today, I did come out of character because I knew that she'd already failed for these things. So because it was her first mock test, I did come out of character, and I just kindly said to her, how would you feel right now if you were late for work and your driver who was giving you a lift to work was driving this slow? Like, no, I didn't word it like that. I worded it, how would you feel about your driver driving like this now? And she said, I'm driving too slow. Yeah. We need to add maybe 4 miles an hour more. It's just a fast walking pace. You just need to add that little bit more. And if that identifies that you don't know how to change down, then we've got to know that, you know? If you're trying to stay low speed, low gears, because you don't really know how to change down, that needs to be identified, right? You do need to know that. So when you're driving around and you don't know how to change down for the junction, that needs to be fixed. And that's okay, right? Needs to be identified. Try not to hide from it. Try not to be like, I don't know how to do that, so I'm just going to drive slowly. You know, drive, be the finished article, yeah? So hesitation can be that you're stopping at junctions, open junctions unnecessarily. Are you approaching with the gear that you need? Because that can help with hesitation. Are you using enough gas to pull away from your junction when you do find your gap so other people don't slow down when you've entered the road? Yeah, you don't want to enter the road and then the car that's coming has to slow down now to join the learner. When you enter the road, if it's safe to do so, you need to use the correct gas to get yourself going and make progress down the road, yeah? Really important. So those are habitual faults that come up very often on mock tests, and I just wanted to put that out there. I hope that helps because it's really, really common. You are wanting to prove that you are the driver now. Yeah, if you've got the caterpillar like kind of learner costume on, you need to unzip that, yeah, and get the driver out and be the butterfly now, okay? You don't want to stay in this learner place, yeah? Unzip the learner, let the driver come out. Release your driving instructor. Don't rely on them. If you know the answers, start at a safe time. Stop relying on them, guys. Stop asking them the questions that you already know the answer to. Give it a go on your own if you know somewhere that you've got the answer. Release your driving instructor. It's really important. Your driving instructor, if they're good, should be releasing you. You don't want each other. It's a very strange relationship. You're trying to get away from each other at all times. It's very odd, isn't it? I mean, you want to trust your driving instructor, you want to like them, you want to have fun, yeah? You want to have a great time, but you're just constantly like trying to get rid of them, you know? It's weird, right? But it's done in like kindness and caring and with like just nice feelings, you know? And both of you are happy, like, thank you for helping me, now go away. And you're like, well done, bye. You know, it's just like a weird relationship, but it's really nice. 22 years of this and I still love it, right? I really hope this helps you today. I am aware that I haven't done the anticipation video. I just still kind of coming back to work after holiday. So I'm just getting back into it all, okay? But it is coming. Anticipation on your drive is vitally important for your safety. So I've only made a short video about it on the 3-minute at the moment, okay? But it is coming. Anticipation is everywhere, right? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if somebody's coming? What if somebody's committed? What if somebody's overtaking me here? You know, blah, 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 right? It's all coming. I did make the video, but there was a bird poo on my windscreen and I just couldn't release it to you guys, you know? I've got respect and I made the video, I edited it and everything and I was like, there's a bird poo on the screen, I just can't release it. So yeah, I have already done it, but like I can't, I'm just gearing myself up to make it again for you. You know what I mean? Guys, I really hope this video helps you today about mock tests and what's likely to come up and what you could fail for on your first test, especially, or your mock tests, okay? That's a habitual fault analysis for you, all right? So yeah, hope that helps you and I'll see you on the next one.